My name is Robert Paturel. I'm 50 years old. I'm married and have 6 children. I'm a police officer. I practice French boxing since I was 15, but not only French boxing. I practice almost all martial arts that exist, sports of apprehension, wrestling, judo, and of course French, English, and Thai boxing, self-defense, and also the specialities of Ton, Arnis, and Kali. I created a new method for Tanfa that was born in 1993, the security Tanfa. I did 103 combats and still practice today. This cassette is about self-defense in the street that uses only the natural weapons, fists, feet and elbow.
Le contenu de cette cassette traite de la défense de rue en utilisant uniquement les armes naturelles, à savoir les poings, les pieds, les coudes, les genoux.
After 35 years of experience in the sports of combat, I tried to make up a new method, simple, efficient, that might be applied in all situations and by anyone. To know how to protect oneself in an efficient way, to know how to block attacks, never minding where they come from, without a lot of damage, I tried to select simple methods that might be used in any situation. The efficiency of these techniques does need some training, however. You can't just watch the video and know everything afterwards, so I remind you to practice if you don't do it already. The forms of the body, like blocks, are trained in a gym with a training partner. It's evident that things won't come like this, you have to practice. I wish you very good watching of the film, and don't forget that self-defense has to be proportional to the aggression. A good discussion is better than a bad fight. In my opinion, people have to practice a little in order to have a feeling for combat, but I really do think that these techniques might be applied in every situation. There are even people that know how to defend themselves in a stressy situation efficiently, and there are others that have been practiced martial arts for 30 years that don't know how to defend themselves. This is one of the great problems, the influence of stress on the techniques. Street fighting. The defense position. The defense position we take in the street is different from the one we use in the ring. As we do have bare hands, these hands might represent a danger for ourselves. The fist or the thumb that might be poked into our eyes, the hits with the fist that we might block with the hand that represent a bony mass that might open our face. The blocks that are badly executed might let pass the adversary's fists. Security distance. The security distance is a distance that we try to keep against an individual that does not really seem to be friendly. The hand's position is important, soothing, in his direction. We observe the person and try to keep the distance no matter what happens. Moving, parades, blocks. When there are 2 of them, the placing will be important. We will always try to turn in a line according to adversary. When there are 2 adversaries, we will be careful. Other than the security distance that you have to keep, turn around the 2 of them so as not to get caught. Whatever happens in this situation, the person does not defend himself, he just blocks on the attacks with fists, protects with the fists. Without reaction for the moment, only working on the movements and the protection. We'll work on the same thing for the kicks. All the blocks are done with the arms when the attacks are in the middle or high, and with the leg when the attacks are low. Always turn out the adversary so he can circle you. We prefer movement sideways rather than backwards. The movement sideways allows you to have a look on what happens. Moving backwards, you might hit an obstacle, and that could be dangerous. Prefer the kicks to the hits with the fists. You might hurt your hands when hitting a head. Try to hit the weak points. All the block on a low level are done with the feet rather than with the hands. Always keep running away in mind. On attacks with fists, I will block with open hands, the inside of my hands to the partner. Block sometimes with the forearm or with the elbow. The important thing is that your partner gets hurt every time he wants to hit you. On large hits, you block either with the forearms or you dive away underneath. Always try to close the guard of your adversaries, so he can't make a second attempt. Always close the guard. The blocks are closed. The divings away are fast. All the kicks on a low level are blocked with the leg, either with the leg or with the shoes. Evidently, you should prefer the shoes as they are good protection. The hits behind on a low level are very painful for the adversary.
Calme-toi. Calme-toi.
On the medium hits, the blocks are executed with the forearms stuck to the body and closed fists that sympathize with the forearms. Always try to move into the same direction as the hit, so the hit will come to you with less force. Accept the blow. When you're afraid of it, it will hurt. We come in and try to get on, be on fist distance, or come to contact in order to seize. We try to work on a defense for everything that allows to block and attack whatever the aggression is, and to think about a possible swoop. The body form is always the same, the leg in front lifted and the hands lifted in protection to the face that allow to block the first attack and to continue afterwards. Whatever the attack, I could encounter with this one. Protection of the hands on a high level to the front. I'm destabilized in front and I come to touch. Techniques in order to get into defense position. Be it direct, arms in front, or arms behind. We start by chasing and closing the guard. When we go into security position on the outside, this will allow us to react gradually. I can just push the adversary away or react. The possibilities of fist reactions. From the moment I blocked the first attack on, I can answer in a typical way for English boxing. I can work with the fists. I need different ways like a hammer, manchette, hitting with the elbows. Think that the hit with the fist into his face might be painful for yourself and that the hands are very fragile when they encounter a head. You should prefer to work like a hammer or to the body and to work with the hard parts like the elbows. Before I talk about reaction, do prefer the blocks. The partner has to get hurt when working on you. Pokey technique. All the techniques he tries to hurt him. This might sometimes be sufficient to calm him down. It is important that he does not see you hit. He just sees you protecting yourself. A good timing is very important, and this is evidently learned in the gym. Prefer the blocks with the shoes, with the downside. This is a good protection for your foot rather than your feet. That might sometimes be sensible. Get used to adapting the height of your blocks with the foot depending on the attack. We will see the defenses on fist attacks and the direct arms to begin with, chest, parade, and go on. The ideal thing is to continue immediately. When my block, chase, hit, and continue as you see. Respond with the arm behind. Block with the foot on a low level. Respond, elbow, knee, head. The adversary hits with the fist and is automatically on his leg in front. This will thus be our goal. Direct arm behind, the most used, because very powerful for a right-handed. Work on the body, the liver, and a very sensitive point. Work behind, grab, work with the knees, work on the head. Always close the guard. Prefer the hits to the body rather than to the face. Less risky for the hands. Some rows of techniques. Work with the tips of your feet. If they are precise, this is very interesting. Plexus, liver. A precise hit does not need to be powerful. The hits might be done with the heel. chased on the body into the face. The legs are more powerful than the arms. Answer on large blows. On large blows, it is good to block or dive away. Neutralize by blocking, projection behind maybe. Work with the head.